what's good? Welcome to another episode of Feelin Fridays, where I share with you some songs that I am feeling into hopes inspire you to check out some new artists, hear some new sounds, I guess learn a few things about the way I view and hear the world of music and dance. And most importantly, I hope to inspire you to go out and dance and cut a rug or two. Today's episode is a song called Brother by Leon Vynehall off the Brother Sister EP. Leon Vynehall is the man. He had an album a few years back called Music for the Uninvited, as well as countless other EPs and singles that I was into. But that album was a huge inspiration for me to hear dance music done as a body of work and done so well, and it felt like a piece of art and not like a bunch of just dance floor singles put together on a package. Yeah, he inspired me a lot as a producer, and his songs energetically have inspired me a lot as a dancer. This song, Brother, is a no bullshit, straightforward banger. It doesn't have tons of melodic complexity. It doesn't offer interesting arrangement choices to help create some kind of artistic movement story. And it actually, just the way it's even produced from a sound quality perspective, it has a grit and a dirtiness to it that make it even more straightforward because nothing is clean about it. It has kind of rough edges every way you touch it. It's like being in the desert here in the western region of the United States. And if you've ever gone out in the desert on a trail hike, or if you have friends that live in the desert, it's like the desert is this beautiful place that every single thing in it has this way to defend itself. Everything's jagged and sharp, and the beauty is kind of right inside of those edges. So you can't really touch it without potentially, if you're not careful, hurting yourself. And that's kind of like the way I look at this song from a visual perspective. And therefore the movement is kind of the same way. Beautiful movement inside of these rough edges and these back the fuck up type of exteriors. The song starts out with all of the empty space kind of filled in. So a lot of songs tend to give you a minimalized approach at the beginning, and then they drop you into usually what is the most energetic piece where there's the most fill. This song actually starts you out filling in all that empty space up front, and it's probably good because it's the simplicity of the song in general. It needs to kind of give that to you early, otherwise you may not feel it when everything's supposed to come in. So you end up starting out with the rhythm that's like a hollow sounding kick drum that gives you kind of that quarter note, so you know where the tempo is. And then you have this super noisy, tight hi-hat, like closed hat, like a kind of swung, right? And then very soon this kind of shaker that fills even more of the kind of noisy high end range of the song to fill in even more energy. And then you get like the two kind of classic samples now coming in that tell the story throughout the song. They kind of act as like the the lead of the song, in my opinion, which is the sample of the brother, and then also the huh, huh, like that shrug, like that short laugh, like the huh, brother. And those two pieces, the reason why I call them the storytellers, or like the lead, in my opinion, is because when they start to come in on the song, they're actually syncopated in a way where they have a sense of timing, but they're so surprising that if you just hear them pass, like either one of the samples, brother, huh, huh, brother, you expect the timing to come back around, and you be able to, movement-wise, be able to time yourself, because that becomes an identifying marker to where there should be some kind of expressive change, and they're not there the second time around or the third time around. it almost sounds like to me like everything was shifted so differently throughout the song, which creates it more of like a lead instrument. It creates it something like somebody would play it, but Leon Vynehall just arranged the samples in a way where they just aren't the same. And yeah, some of them have like kind of this rhythmic component that you can catch a few times, and that's what makes a lot of these songs dancey, is that it's, you know, polyrhythmic, but it's not always there. But the song starts out like that, and you get a sense of what this story is to be pretty much for the whole song. Right at the quintessential kind of 1 minute or so mark, where it's like your DJ mix-in point, boom, the kick drum actually comes in, the full-bodied kick drum with the thump comes in, bah, 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 and the energy right there just lifts, and you get that, like I said, that rough exterior comes to life, and all of a sudden the shit's in your chest and it's thumping, and it just asks for some big changes in terms of your dynamic right off the bat.
Brother, 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 brother.
And as we continue on, because that first kind of drop isn't really like the climax, right? We're actually going to go through a series of builds and dropouts in the song, which is, like I said, not, I wouldn't say a common arrangement by any means, but it gives a DJ a lot of options to be creative with how they may want to use this song. I forgot to mention, as a part of the first segment, we're already getting an idea of that clap, which just cuts through and really creates kind of like this sense of stoppage. That clap is so cutting and so clearly on top that movement can be going, filling in that empty space, and then that clap can just make you want to stop and take a breath, create some tension, even though the song continues to just bang on in the background. As we continue, we kind of have this weird, again, it's like not super clean, this swelling, it's like this weird ghostly sample thing that's just not polished, and again it matches the grit of the rest of the song, which then builds up to this drop, which then, you know, with the samples, the huh and the brother and all this like fun lead stuff going on, drops us into this energy that we already had. It's not like anything changed energy wise. The whole back piece of the track is there, but now we have this like mashing through it, like railroading through it, and we get this next added component, which is that stab, that bang bang bang, and it's cool. To me, it's like nostalgic. It's kind of like that simple, you know, straightforward, doesn't have like this crazy melodic change. It's not trying to like set a particular tone. It's just trying to say energy, energy, energy. And I like the simplicity of it. And this is where like the counter, you know, East Bay soulful house guy in me goes, this is too abrasive. This is just madness on top of madness. But then that's where I guess I am like that big room club system type dude that just goes, yo, the energy is overwhelming, and I do enjoy this. And the dance just becomes, for me, energetic.
Brother, brother.
As we continue on in the song, there's these kind of really basic arrangement cutouts and things taking place. It's very much mute this track, get rid of this, you know, piece of the song, bring this piece back in. The overall texture of the song, like I said at the beginning, is it has this rough feeling. It has this unpolished feeling. It has this grit to it. and the way that all the components are being kind of mixed and matched and pushed in and out, that is, you know, it's fitting with the overall sound of the song. You don't need to do any crazy weird sound textures and interesting little volume changes. It's like the grit and the simplicity of it makes it really dope, and that gives a lot of character to what, you know, you may do with your dance. You know, something drops out, you drop out that energy or drop out that particular movement. You change shit up. This song, for someone who is maybe not learning to dance, but is relatively new, you know, has only been dancing for maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, you know, they're still trying to find themselves, unless you're one of those son of a bitches that are naturally gifted and can do everything right off the bat, you lucky son of a bitch. The newer dancers, those, you know, sub 10 year people, those guys, this song is an easy way to kind of listen, figure out all the pieces, hear the changes very drastically. It's just easy to study from an ear training perspective as a dancer. So use this song for that, and enjoy the energy behind it. And Leon Vynehall's the man. He creates a freaking banger with this. So, you know, use those easy to decipher, you know, things about this song, and try the switching of the movement as those switches and those changes take place. One thing I didn't mention about this song is the bass line, because there's not really like a fundamental bass line. There's what sounds like to me almost like tuned percussive elements that kind of are syncopated, and there's a lot of space between the notes that kind of are just there to add sub-frequency. The kick drum is really the bass to this song when it comes to what gives you that low frequency energy throughout the club. But you'll hear it in there. You'll hear those tuned percussive or even synthesized, you know, notes that are being stabbed. Melodically, it's kind of like this doom 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 doom. It's kind of like that kind of pattern. Again, not something that Leon Vynehall has you latching on the front. It's just creating like a texture on the bottom of that grit. So not a standout thing for me, because we really have this whole package that really starts from the very beginning of the track that creates that whole energy throughout. And without beating down on this track anymore, because it's got all these different drops and arrangement changes, and not really like in a particular story, like I said, maybe some decisions just to try to make the track more interesting without adding or a whole lot more to the track, and Leon Vynehall being like, yo, this is done, the energy's dope, it's gritty, it's nasty, play this shit loud and a big sound system. In some cases as a dancer, it almost feels like it's too much, because you want to keep going, and all of a sudden you have this really elongated piece where the kick drum doesn't exist. You're like waiting. Listen to those other pieces that are filling up the empty space, because they're usually very prominent. It's like that shaker or that hat. Listen to those pieces and figure out what's the movement that's going to be able to fill in that space. And I know it's elongated and it might feel super repetitive just to sit inside of that kind of instrumentation responsiveness to try and paint movement to. Try to work with that stuff and enjoy the track for what it is, and with the energy, and have fun dancing to it. Leon Vynehall with Brother, dope track. I enjoyed it. Simplistic and all. It's just straight ahead, and it's a banger, and everybody deserves a banger once or two in their life, and this is a great one. Yeah, actually, me and my Soul Shifter brother, Latin Heat, shot a little dance video, freestyle video to this song. It just was a good song to kind of be like, yo, a couple of East Bay brothers dancing to a banger. Let's do some footwork. Let's get creative. Let's whip out the funk rag and vibe. So, you know, somewhere on this screen you can click if you want to watch that video. It's short and sweet. Yeah, I hope you like it. If you're feeling these videos like I'm feeling this song, please comment, like, subscribe, put me up on some new music. I don't know, give me some feedback, something. Appreciate you for watching. We'll catch you next time. Peace.